Mr. Nixon today also named UN Ambassador George Bush to be the new chairman of the Republican National Committee. He'll replace Senator Robert Dole of Kansas. Both the White House and the senator insisted that Dole was not being fired, but it was known that Dole wanted to stay on the job for a while longer. Today, Dole and Bush talked about the change, and Senator Dole mentioned a meeting he had with President Nixon at Camp David in the Maryland mountains.
There was some speculation that I went to the mountaintop to be pushed off, but that wasn't the case. I said afterwards, I know the president quite well, and we had a very frank discussion of my future. He wants me to be reelected to the Senate. I never planned on staying long into 1973. In fact, we've just conducted a very non-scientific survey in Kansas and find that 8 out of 10 people think I should quit.
I'm looking forward, of course, to working with the President, with the National Committee, and I think it's going to be a very, very different change of pace from this, but I think it's important work, and I look forward to getting involved in it. Our system is so important that people who believe in it ought to participate in it, and I did that in an elective sense. I've now been in a different arena, and it's altogether consistent, I would say, with my conviction that this is important and politics is important, that maybe I go back and give this thing a whirl.
The Supreme Court today ruled against a Moose Lodge in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, which tried to keep out a Negro guest. The guest in this case, though, was E. Leroy Irvis, who was the majority leader of the Pennsylvania House of Representatives. The case has a rather odd history. In June, the Supreme Court said the lodge did not have to serve blacks just because it holds a state liquor license. But today, it upheld a Pennsylvania court ruling which said Irvis must be served if the dining room is also open to white guests. The High Court today also agreed to rule on the constitutionality of the Hatch Act. That act, which was passed 33 years ago, prohibits political activity by all federal and many state employees.
Acid indigestion. Who doesn't get it?